Alrighty, welcome along to another episode of Randy Crafts. Starting off with a lovely calm montage of the slate quarry outside Ballahoolish. I'll be using a bit of slate in this build for no other reason than the wife and I went away to Ballahoolish for my birthday and it was lovely. I don't use this wood, I use some of this moss. I use a bit of this slate. I'm going to be using the slate as a base for what is going to be a wild haggis. Now I know I can hear some of you going, what the fuck's a wild haggis? And some of you going, there's no such thing as a fucking wild haggis. Well, let me tell you, yeah, there was, and there's a reason why we don't remember the wild haggis. Anyway, I should talk a little bit about the build, because what I've got here is, I've got some bacon bond, it's by Sculpey. I've got this little tool here, and I've got some cheap clay there. Cheap clay is good, because it's soft, it's gooey, it's kind of mushy already. I'm going to take that, flatten it, I'm going to put a little bit of the bacon bond on, I'm going to smoosh it all together like this, and I'm going to create this sort of paste-like goop texture thing, whatever it is, that is going to be like my cement. That is what's going to bond the bits of slate to other bits of slate, because I want to be able to stick this in the oven. So I don't really want to be using glues or anything like, super glue and stuff, and stink the place out. And then there's a big blob there. I need a big blob because that's a big bit of slate to hold. Smoosh it in there. Smoosh it fucking good. Oh, smooth it out. Blends in. Happy accident. And then for some reason I decided to add a twig because, why not? And there it is. Look at that. There's the base made out of natural materials and polymer clay, of course. It's pretty strong. Look, it's not light, but it can hold itself up under its weight. I wasn't going to give it a shiggle just in case. Don't want to tempt fate or anything, you know. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm happy as a man who's just seen 2 ducks. What's that over there? What's that? There's 2 ducks, there's one there. Look at it, swimming. They're both here. This is the roost. There's 1, there's 2. Flapping. Whoa. I know I said the slate was free, but as there was this wee donation tin, I still donated for the little bits of slate that I picked up. So anyway, on to making the haggis, the 3-legged wild haggis. And rather than describe what I'm doing as I'm making it out of clay, No, I'm going to tell you about the wild haggis, as I said. So the wild haggis, an amazing creature. Although it was an animal, it wasn't made of meat. It was made of oats and grain and all sorts of stuff stuck together in a sack. So how they lived was quite a magical thing. If you consumed the haggis, it gave the person who ate the haggis, it gave them the power to convey with the fae folk and to ride the unicorn and swim with the kelpies. And you could access this magical fantasy world that was Scotland, that was the wilds and the highlands of Scotland centuries ago. It also granted access to past, present and future. A phenomenal experience all round, but it came with a price. Every time you consumed the haggis, it worked a little bit less and a little bit less, so you didn't want to be greedy, and nobody was. It was consumed on very special nights, on long hot summer days, on solstices. It was consumed with a purpose. But unfortunately, the wrong people heard of the power of the haggis, and they wanted it for their own because they were greedy so-and-sos, and they would use it for their advantage to gain power over their common man, over their fellow man. And so they got greedy, and they consumed, and they consumed, and they consumed, and the more they consumed of the haggis, the less potent it would be, and so they needed more and more. They tried to simulate haggis. The people actually tried to fool the lairds and the bad folk that were eating all the haggis. They tried to fool them with fake haggis, which was very similar to the haggis that we get in our butchers that we eat today, tasted exactly the same, but didn't have the properties, so they weren't fooled. So they kept consuming and consuming, grabbing, reining in, hunting down all the wild haggis, to the point they were gone. Just gone. No more. I absolutely love using pastels to blend the clay together and add depth in all the grooves and wrinkles and details and things. It's a fantastic mixture, and once it's baked, the majority of the pastel sticks in. You give it a brush and the top layer of pastel will come off, but it dyes the clay. This is just an interpretation of a wild haggis. No actual documented proof of a wild haggis exists, because we just can't conceive of it. It was the final act of the haggis. Perhaps as a final act of self-preservation for the few numbers of haggis that remained. They erased themselves, somehow, from our minds. We can't remember them, we can't conceive of them. So if they do still exist, hopefully out there, roaming across the heather-strewn highlands, we can't see them through natural camouflage and mystical ability. You know what I can see though? Your lovely comments under my last video. So thank you. Polly6446. Nostalgia flippin' fix. Neil HMS. Begods Tutu. Luke Willis I6E. Vic Maeve. I made this. Look at him, pal. I made this. Terrain by Aaron. Polythene Pam 3236. And Pahuta. Thank you. Honestly, I love your engagement. Keep it up. Keep those comments coming. The haggis did have natural camouflage to blend in with the highlands, with the land around them. A lot of mossy type substance grew from their back. Couldn't be described as fur. It was much more closer to a plant. I took some of that natural moss that I'd found and I stuck it to the back of this haggis, but it was a little bit overgrown, a little bit too unkempt. Look at this scruffy little fucker. So yeah, anyway, I trimmed some of that moss back because it was getting in the way of displaying him. You couldn't really see him. And I wanted this haggis to be the best in show that haggis crufts. And I think I've maybe done that. I think I've succeeded. Yeah, the wild haggis on a bed of Ballahoolish slate. Quite happy with this. Quite like the way haggis turned out. And there we go, just like that, episode 6 is done and dusted. It's in the books. It was a little bit different for me. It was, I don't know, I didn't feel like I really spoke much about the process of making the wee haggis. I just spoke about the wee haggis. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Comment down below. As always, love your comments. Love the feedback. I like the idea of building a little community here, a little fan base. Speaking of which, if this is the first time watching one of these videos, please give it a like, and if you feel like it, subscribe. There's plenty more to come. I've got a few ideas, I've got a few things in the pipeline. The first one is, I've been thinking a lot lately about the cartoons that were around when I was a kid. It's really weird that there were cartoons, that RoboCop had a cartoon.
Officer Alex J. Murphy and his partner Ann Lewis fight to rid the decaying city of the criminal element which infests it, after being mortally wounded in the line of duty. RoboCop.
Rambo had a fucking cartoon. A movie about Vietnam veterans' trauma was made into a cartoon. What kind of movie that you would think, that's not a cartoon, would have made a great cartoon back in the 80s. So I've got mine lined up. I know what I'm doing. As soon as I thought of it, that's the one. So that's what's next. Bill making stuff. Bill has got his Big Bot Bash 2026. The bot generator, the new one, is out. I've already rolled my dice, I've already got my things lined up, and one of them in particular lined up with something else that I've wanted to try for a while, so I'm going to give that a go. Which one's going to come out first? I'll maybe hold off on the big bot bash until everybody else's big bot bash things are out there. So I'm wanting to keep getting these out regular. So if you like what I'm doing, if you like what you're seeing, please, let's say, like, subscribe to the channel. If you're new to the channel, let's build that, let's grow that. That's what it's all about, and it's growing the channel so the algorithm picks up. I don't know how all that nonsense works, but I'm muddling through. I've watched a few videos on how to do with your YouTube video. I thought you just stuck a YouTube video up, but apparently no, there's more stuff you need to do before the algorithm catches on to it. So with your help, if you've got your own ideas, let's say I've got the idea for the movie into the cartoon kind of, you know, the things I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about here. Because I had a lot of others that were going, and I was like, could do the thing, because I've seen drawings online, somebody doing the thing in the style of Scooby-Doo. It's hilarious. The Warriors, Big Trouble in Little China, Terminator, all going through my head. But then when I thought of the one I'm going to do, as soon as I thought of it, I was like, that's what I'm doing. But what's yours? What's your thoughts? What's your idea? What do you think would be cool to see interpreted in that way? Comment down below. Yeah, thanks as always for stopping by. Thanks. Hope you enjoyed the video. Plenty more to come. Stay tuned. As long as you keep watching them, I'll keep making them. And as long as I keep making them, hopefully you'll keep watching them. I'll see you next time for some more Randy Crafts.